I'm Caroline Hulse from Sew Caroline, and today we're going to be talking about the downtown tunic. The downtown tunic is a really fun pattern because it mixes knits and wovens, and it's super easy to wear all day and just doing whatever you want to do. I have already sewn together the top portion of the pattern. It's the knit portion. And so today we're going to be talking about the shirt tail hem right here. You can see here there's these buttons that you add to the bottom of it to create this really fun looking top. So what I've done here is I've taken the shirt tail portion of the pattern and I've traced it onto this Swedish tracing paper. And I've transferred all my markings, and I've already cut out the fabric, so we are good to go. The first thing we're gonna do is take these pattern pieces like this and work on the button placket. If you'll see here, we're gonna put a button placket on the left and the right side. When you're facing the pattern pieces down on the table, the left side is the one that's gonna have the buttonholes on it. So we're gonna put the interfacing on this side. So I'm gonna take this piece here, turn it to the wrong side, and place my pattern piece here, and the interfacing is gonna go right in between those two lines. And I'm gonna take it right here to the iron and press it on. And this interfacing is just regular, lightweight interfacing that works well with woven fabrics. I'm pressing here. And since this is the placket that has the interfacing, we're gonna put it on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and pin it in place. I'm just gonna do a couple of pins here. And we're gonna head to the sewing machine and sew it on. Just start using a straight stitch here. Sew right down the edge of the interfacing. And I'm using a contrasting thread here just so you can see it, but if you were to sew this at home, you'd want to use regular coordinating thread that goes with your fabrics. So now that I have this sewn on, I'm going to come back over to the iron and press the seam allowance towards the interfacing, like this. And then I'm going to, on the opposite side here, we're going to fold in and press about 1/4 of an inch. Just like that. Make sure it's really pressed really nicely and flat. And then I'm going to take this whole piece and fold it right on top of the stitch line that I made. And then press that in place as well. Okay. You can see right here that looks really nice. And there's this little tail at the end. I guess I cut my pattern piece a little long, so all you do is just trim that off. So what we're gonna do now is come over to the machine and stitch right along there. Okay, get my needle in position here, press our foot down, and sew right along the edge so that you are stitching in the ditch on the top and then you're catching the fold, the pressed fold on the back. So it all stays together. Okay, I'm just gonna come right here and just go ahead and trim that little piece off the bottom. And then you've got your interfaced button placket right here. This is the side that we're gonna put the buttonholes on. So I'm gonna put that there. And then you're gonna repeat the process for this side with no interfacing. So I'm not gonna use any pins this time because it's easy to hold it in place. gonna just do the same thing. So right there, and this pattern uses 3/8 of an inch seam allowances, so makes it easy. Okay, right here to the iron. I'm gonna press this towards the placket. Press this one here. And then again here. Just like we did on the other side. Okay, and then right again into the ditch. And if you use a coordinating thread, the thread on top really just totally disappears. You don't even see that you don't even see the stitch line, which is really nice. Okay, so now your front pieces are finished. And we're going to overlap the left side, when you're facing it, the left side on top of the right, like this, so that the plackets are right on top of each other. And we're just going to pin it in place here. And then we're going to take the back portion. And as you see on this pattern piece, there's a little dotted line here for the pleat. And we're just going to make a really simple box pleat. So I'm taking one pleat line and bringing it to the center. I'm going to press it here. And then I'm going to take the other side to the center. Press these in place. Just like that. I'd already transferred the markings onto the fabric, by the way. Then just right along the edge, as close as you can to the top, you're just going to do a little line of stitching right there. Easy, easy. Just takes a few stitches just to hold it in place. So now you have your back piece ready to go and your front piece ready to go. What I want to show you now is just how simple it is to put these buttons, the buttonholes on. So as you take your guide piece, and you're going to use whatever kind of marking tool you like. I'm going to use this Taylor's chalk here. And I'll use the white one. And we'll just transfer these markings. And you'd go ahead and transfer all of them, but I'm just going to do one to show you. I'll go ahead and unpin this and just take this over to the machine. Switch out your presser foot to the buttonhole. And as you see here, I have my button here that I'm going to use so it knows how wide to make it. Okay, and then we're going to switch over to just a regular buttonhole. Right there. Start at the bottom here. Put my needle down. Just does it for us. Perfect. And you would, of course, continue down and do all 4 of the buttonholes. At this point, you're going to want to baste this in place. So now this is basted in place right here at the top, and of course you'd finish your buttonholes on this side, and then on the opposite side, on the opposite placket that you've made, you're going to add your buttons. And you can do this by hand, or you can do them on your machine if your machine can sew them on for you. And so we have the front piece here and the back piece here all ready to go. What you'll do next is put them right sides together and sew on the edges, and then the bottom shirt tail portion is complete. The next step is taking the knit portion of your top, like here, and adding this to the bottom. So once the shirt tail portion is complete, you will put it right sides together with the top and line up the side seams and sew around the edge using a zigzag stitch or a stretch stitch, whatever your machine does. It's really easy to put wovens with knits. And for this pattern, you don't have to stretch it too much, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you'll finish the garment using the instructions on the website, and it's as easy as that. That's the downtown tunic.